Thanks a lot for this invitation and give me the chance to take the floor. Once I was asked to participate for this meeting, my colleagues immediately said, "Of course, I'm gonna join this important project and interesting project." Which was once initiated by one of our previous colleagues, Adalbert Kienle. He was a previous member of the EESC, and we have sent here today a three-heads delegation. My colleague Josiane Willems, Joseph Pujau, and myself. We are really happy to be here. And Adalbert, we didn't have the chance to work too much together, but I hope that you see the NAT section in the EESC in good hands. So I would like to give you a bit of flavor of that, what the EESC is doing in order to follow this crucial idea of the peace spread or the Friedensbrot. I think we in the EESC, in the NAT section, we walk the talk. So one of our priorities in the NAT section, and not only our of the NAT section, also my priority is indeed to bring together the rural and the urban development in a balanced way. So we are lacking a bit on strategy in Europe. We have a lot of initiatives, very a lot of projects, but we think as EESC it is necessary to develop, to design a kind of overarching idea. What does it mean? If we want to keep the peace, if we want to keep the social peace in Europe, then we mustn't forget the development on the rural side. In the future of Europe will be decided on the rural areas. That's my absolute conviction. If we do not develop the rural development equally to the urban side, so we're going to lose the idea on Europe. That means clearly in the UN Agenda 2030, leaving no one behind is one of our key elements to do. So that's why we put it into our priorities. My colleague Joseph Pujau is rapporteur on an opinion currently where we draft an idea. What does it mean when we talk about a long-term idea and long-term strategy for an rural and urban development? So that means we are really ready as organized voice, European organized voice of civil society to contribute. And we did this in the past in different other areas which are also affected or concerned to this to the rural development. So we have been the first institution in Europe called for a comprehensive food policy in Europe. Long before the Commission launched the idea on a farm to fork or a European Green Deal, we said we must have a comprehensive view. Get out of just thinking on a common agriculture policy, rather having a holistic idea over the whole food supply chain, where we have a fair share within the food supply chain, where the farmers and the people living in the rural area get the fair share for an important work what they are doing through their whole lifetime and their livelihood. And the key word for that is, we heard that from the introductory words, is solidarity. This is one of the key words which we must stress. Another key word which we are talking about in our work is cooperation. It's much more, rather than stressing again and again and again the competition, because we see a competition within the food supply chain, for instance, is to a certain extent destroyable. We must get rid of this kind of competition. We must come to a cooperation between all suppliers in the food supply chain, that we get back a fair share. So these are the initiatives what we are doing in the EESC, and we think that we deliver a crucial part for the policy making process in Europe in order to come to a difference in the policy making process. So we see we have still the situation, you know, the figures are much better, especially Adalbert, but we lost in the last year 3,000 farmers. They lost their livelihoods in order to produce bread, in order to produce food, only in Germany. So these are the figures. That means if we go ahead like this, we won't have an real peace bread if we won't change this situation. So that's why I think this is so crucial that we start this kind of cooperation. We work quite close together with Ecolis. So in order to organize the voice of the different stages in the civil civil society and bring this kind of fairness into the food systems, into the food supply chains. For that, we proposed a kind of participatory approach. So our proposal is to create on the local level, on the national level, and at least on the European level, a kind of food policy councils where we bring all actors together in order to learn, in order to work on this cooperative process, on this participatory process, that if all stakeholders in this process can come together, that would bring more transparency and again more fairness into the supply chain. Unfortunately, the Commission is not that keen to follow the idea of food policy councils, but nevertheless, we're able to do. We can do it. We can create it in all the countries, doing it just not waiting until the policymakers do the things. And we ask all the participants to do it. Last point, and let's go this way. I skip the other things. Thanks again for these important initiatives, and keep in touch whenever there is something. Let's work together and collaborate. Thank you very much.